gotta fight, 'cause there will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time.
Hey guys, and welcome on in to another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends, free NHL picks. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's slate. Robert in the chat here says Leaf signed Willie Nylander. Yes, to a 8-year, over 11 million, I think $11.5 million contract. So the Leafs once again have another very high contract on the books, but William Nylander has been offensive force for the Leafs, so I can understand re-signing him. It's just they're paying a lot of money to 4 players. But we will start the show by taking a look at what happened on Friday and Saturday. I'll try to quickly zip through these. Starting on Friday, Carolina Hurricanes and the Washington Capitals. I did a same game parlay here. Carolina to win, Aho and Svechnikov both to get points. This cashed. Really, I should have taken the Hurricanes on the puck line because 6-2 dominant win by the Hurricanes, and Aho and Svechnikov continued their point streaks in this game. The next one here, I went with the over 6.5. Unfortunately, the game finished 4-2. I went with Luke Hughes to get a point, and unfortunately, he did not get a point. It was just not the best game for the Devils overall. A lot of physical play with Bedard, and then Foligno, and then Jack Hughes ended up getting hurt. So this game was just a bit of a mess, and unfortunately, the over didn't cash. 1 goal away. Luke Hughes didn't get a point in this one. Winnipeg Jets, Anaheim Ducks, no single plays here. The Jets with a 3-1 win, continuing to play well overall on the season. Going along to Saturday, I had the Flames money line. They got outshot 42-24, and the Flyers with the comeback win, a 3-2 victory for the Flyers. Once again, I just, for whatever reason, really struggle with 1 p.m. Saturday games. It doesn't matter who it is. For some reason, I just struggle with them. So I got to stop betting them. I got to remember that. Florida Panthers, Colorado Avalanche. This was a great game as expected. Cashed all my player props in this one. And the Panthers with an 8-4 win in Colorado. This team was just dominant and should not have been an underdog in this spot. Wasn't excited to fade Colorado, but it was definitely the right choice here. The Panthers are a wagon right now, playing great hockey. Toronto and San Jose. This game finished 4-1 Toronto. So the Leafs covering the super puck line. No single plays here in this one. Tampa Bay and Boston. Player props were pretty good in this game for parlay pieces as the Bruins won 7-3. So it was a dominant win by the Bruins. Marchand, for some reason, not able to find the score sheet. With 7 goals on the board for the Bruins, Marchand was a bit of a no-show, which unfortunately sucked. Vancouver Canucks, New Jersey Devils. New Jersey had won 15 of the last 16 against Vancouver, but losing Jack Hughes, the night before really hurt the Devils, and the Canucks able to get the win here. But these teams continue to go over recently, and when they face each other. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these teams have gone over 8.5, and we saw it here. You could have taken the over 8.5 because it finished 6-4. 6-4 final here for the Canucks, so the over 1 there. Buffalo Pittsburgh, the Buffalo Sabres did it. They finally did it. They won consecutive games for the first time since November 1st of last year. The Sabres finally won games back to back. And now they get to face the Seattle Kraken tomorrow, the red hot Kraken. So we'll see how that goes. Minnesota Wild, Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus has been an overtime machine lately. 4 of the last 5 games between these teams have gone to overtime. And what do you know? The draw cashed, and these teams went to overtime again. Flower, really exciting game for Marc-Andre Fleury. Obviously tying Patrick Waugh in wins in this game. Fleury made an absolutely wonderful glove save in the overtime period. And then the Wild's young guns, Faber, Boldy, and Rossi, went down the ice. Boldy passed to Rossi. Rossi with the anytime goal. Obviously, I did the show on Friday. I was unaware that the Wild were moving Marco Rossi to the top line. Again, why I said follow me on Twitter. I posted on Twitter once I found out that Rossi was going to the top line. Rossi anytime goal plus 230 and Rossi point minus 110. And of course, Marco Rossi with the overtime winner, cashing both of those, cashing the draw. And it's overall a great game for the Wild to finally break their losing streak and getting Matt Zuccarello back and having Zuccarello, Rossi, and Boldy really ignited the offense for the Wild in this one. Rangers and Montreal. The Rangers lost this game, but that was okay with me because I cashed Artemi Panarin anytime goal. He's a wagon right now. Panarin with the second goal for the Rangers. Rangers outshot Montreal 48-30. The Habs winning in a shootout. Between these teams, Nashville got the win over the Stars. 4-3 win here. Gustav Nyquist continues to produce for the Predators, and Nashville getting the win there. St. Louis, Carolina. This is where Aho and Teravainen streaks ended. 2-1 shootout win for the Blues. They're just a tough team for Carolina recently for whatever reason. They've had a tough time. New York Islanders and Vegas Golden Knights. I stayed off this game. The Golden Knights with the 5-2 victory here in this game. And then for whatever reason, as StreamYard likes to do sometimes, they deleted the final game of the Saturday slate, which I will bring up here in 1 second. Edmonton. Final play for me was the Edmonton Oilers minus 1.5 against the Ottawa Senators. And the Oilers continue their domination over the Senators. Was a little bit closer than maybe I would have liked, but the 3-1 win is a victory nonetheless. So thank you to the Edmonton Oilers who continue on playing really well recently. Jump into the chat. Terrence, ... Hello, Nick. Good day, Terry. To you as well, Captain Bry. Wild money line, bang. Yeah, the Wild cashed on Saturday, and we will see if they can do it again here tonight. We'll jump into today's slate. I'll bring up the first game, which is between the Vancouver Canucks and the New York Rangers. Vancouver plus 120 to plus 129. The Rangers minus 143 to minus 150. 6.5s right across the board here in this game. We will take a look and see if we have any goaltenders. I believe both are likely in this one. Thatcher Demko against Igor Shesterkin. Shouldn't be any surprise there with those two starting. Vancouver does have a back-to-back. They are in New York facing the Islanders tomorrow. So most likely we'll see Casey DeSmith there and Demko here tonight. Looking at this game, Rangers off a shootout loss against Montreal, returning home here to face the Vancouver Canucks. Looking at previous games for these two teams, Vancouver 5-2-1 in their last 8 games. 6 of their last 8 games over 6.5. The Rangers 7-3-1 in their last 11. They've gone over 6.5 in 6 of their last 9. 2 games finished with 6 goals, so almost going over 6.5 in 8 of their last 9. If they got those extra 2 goals. The Rangers have won the last 3 meetings between the teams, and the last 4 meetings have all gone over 6.5. They've been higher scoring games. Looking at this game for me, obviously minus 135 is my cutoff. So if I want to back the New York Rangers, I would have to take them in regulation, um, or use the money line as a parlay piece. And I think the Rangers bounce back. I'm expecting a better game from them after their loss to Montreal, but I'm not running to the window to fade this Vancouver team right now. And looking at this one here, could we get overtime in this one? Very possibly. So I'm not comfortable backing the Rangers, even though I do think they're the right side. I will take the over 6.5, minus 105. As I said, the last 4 meetings have all gone over. Yes, it's Demko against Shesterkin, which could really make people pause when you look to the over. However, both of these teams have the offenses to push this game over. All we need is a 3-3 score, which I definitely think is possible here in this one. So I'm on the over 6.5, and I will continue to take Artemi Panarin. Anytime goal here, plus 130. He continues to play great for the Rangers. Looking at player props in this game, Quinn Hughes has an assist in 6 of his last 7 games. Elias Pettersson has a point in 5 of his last 8. JT Miller, former Ranger, has a point in 4 of his last 6. Artemi Panarin has a goal in 5 of his last 6 games, at least 3 shots on goal in 7 of his last 8. He's shooting the puck a lot, a reason why he's scoring. Vincent Trocheck has a point in 4 of his last 6 games. Of course, he plays on the line with Artemi Panarin, and when you play with Artemi Panarin, who's on a roll, it's tough not to get points, which Trocheck has been doing. Because Vanejad, Chris Kreider, both had their point streaks end in the last game, but I think they can get back here. 11 of his last 13 games for Zibanejad, 8 of his last 9 games for Chris Kreider. Give me goals and give me a Panarin goal in this one. Canucks money line. All right. Under 6.5. All right. A little bit of disagreement there. Under 6.5. This should be a 5.5/6 range. Demko versus Shesterkin going to be a goalie duel. Lean Canucks as well. Yeah, well, we saw what happened when the Devils faced the Canucks in their last game. The goalies, hey, it is what it is. They still allow goals. Of course, when they play really good teams, they should be able to shut them out, but this should be an offensive game. Panarin has an egg-shaped head. Very true. Very true. Especially when he shaved off. It was very surprising to see him shave his head when the season began. I don't think anyone was expecting that. Best or goal, JT Miller over 1.5 points, Pettersson over 1.5 points, and Hughes over 1.5 points. There we go. Line move from plus 135 to plus 125 for the Canucks. Interesting. So maybe Canucks money's coming in. Quinn Hughes to get an assist, minus 125. Great price. I like that play. And Vancouver team total over 2.5. I think so. I think at some point in this game, probably in the third period, I would say I think this game's 3-3 at some point. So will it go to overtime? We'll have to see. But we'll move on along to our second game of the night, which is between the Battle of Pennsylvania. We got the Pittsburgh Penguins, minus 116 to minus 125 against the Philadelphia Flyers, plus 105 to plus 106. Sixes right across the board here in this game. Confirmed goaltenders, we've got them. Alex Nedeljkovic confirmed for Pittsburgh. Carter Hart confirmed for Philadelphia. pretty much identical numbers when it comes to goals against and save percentage. 2.62 for Nedeljkovic, 2.63 for Hart, 917 save percentage for Nedeljkovic, 912 save percentage for Hart. So pretty similar numbers here when it comes to the goaltending. How these teams been doing recently. Pittsburgh 6-2-1 in their last 9 games, obviously coming off a loss to Buffalo in their last game. 4 of their last 7 have gone over 6.5. The Flyers 2-3-2 in their last 7, coming off that win at home against the Flames. They've gone under 6.5 in 4 of their last 6. The Flyers winning the last 2 meetings between the teams, both games going to overtime. 5 of the last 6 have gone under 6.5 when these two teams face each other. And looking at this game, they've gone to overtime in the last 2 meetings. Let's make it 3. Give me the draw here, plus 350. This just seems like a draw spot on the slate. This seems like the game that goes to overtime. So I'll take the draw for half unit plus 350 in this one. Looking at player props, who's been good? Well, it's tough to find players consistently on both teams. Obviously, for the Flyers, I've been mentioning it. Travis Konechny has a point in 9 of his last 10 games. Got the game winner, I believe, against Calgary in his last game. I'm not sure if it was a game winner, but he had a big goal in that game. Jake Guentzel for Pittsburgh has at least 3 shots on goal in 7 straight games. That's basically it. I'd look at Guentzel shot props and Konechny point here in this one. And I think this game goes to overtime in this one. Pens are bet on. Flyers are bet against. Penguins minus 125. Yeah, I thought the Flyers were bet against too. And then, of course, they beat the Flames and they dominate the Flames. Not only beat them, they dominated them. And I watched that game. So it was very frustrating being on Calgary. So the Flyers, they're a tough team to bet against because a lot of the time, like they're just a tough team. The Flyers, the draw, yeah, I like it. Pens should win. They should win, but will they? Lean draw because it's the Tires. There we go. There you go. Under 6. Yeah, it's leaned under, or sorry, it's trended under between these teams in the past. So give me a 1-1 or 2-2 game going to overtime. Sounds good to me. But we'll move on along to our next game here, which is between the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild. And this one, Dallas minus 139 to minus 145. Minnesota plus 120 to plus 125. 6s right across the board here in this game. How are these teams playing right now? Dallas 2-3-1 in their last 6. They've lost 3 games in a row. The Dallas Stars. They've gone over 6.5 in 13 of their last 15 games. The Stars have been an over machine for quite a while now. The Wild 1-4-0 in their last 5, breaking their 4-game losing streak in their last game. They've gone under 6.5 in 4 of their last 5 games. Dallas 5-1 in the last 6 meetings, obviously going back to the playoff series last year. 4 of the last 6 meetings have gone under 6.5. The 2 that didn't were very high scoring games. So the Wild are trending towards the under right now. Dallas is not trending towards the under right now. For me, with the total in this one, it ultimately comes down to, and who wins this game? Ultimately, both will be decided by how many penalties the Wild take in this game. Dallas has absolutely torched the Wild on the power play in the first game of the year this season, definitely through the playoff series last year. Can the Wild stay out of the box? The Wild stay out of the box. This game could very well go under, and the Wild could get a win. If the Wild take penalties in this game, then this game's going over, and the Stars likely win. So, looking at this game, only one thing I can do here, and that's take Marco Rossi to get a point. Rossi is a point in 2 of his last 3 games, which obviously doesn't sound like much. However, being put back on the top line with Boldy and Zuccarello, obviously being on the top power play, we know that the Dallas Stars give up goals. Obviously, being on a big over streak and losing 3 straight games. Not going to take a side here. I'm not going to take a total, but I will take props. Mainly Rossi being my favorite prop of the day in this game. Looking at who's been hot and who hasn't player prop wise, Robertson has a point in 8 of his last 9 games for the Dallas Stars. Matt Duchene has an assist in 4 straight games for Dallas. Joel Erikssonek, unfortunately, only had 2 shots his last game, which is really rare for him. He has at least 3 shots on goal in 19 of his last 22 games. Boldy obviously had 2 goals his last game and wasn't on a point streak before that. But obviously, the Wild were really struggling to score before Zuccarello came back. And Marco Rossi, as I said, has a point in 2 of his last 3 games. Looking at goaltenders here, because you want to keep an eye on goaltenders here for both of these teams. Hellebuck or Hellebuck. Ottinger is not back yet, as I believe, but I believe his return is not too far away. Nobody confirmed for Dallas in this game. Marc-Andre Fleury will start in this game. So he is looking to be alone in second place all time in goalie wins, looking for number 552 in this spot. The Wild did call up the best goaltending prospect in the NHL, Jesper Wallstedt, who will not start this game. He will back up, and he could very well start on Wednesday when Minnesota goes to Dallas for the second game of the series, or he could play in one of the back-to-backs on Friday or Saturday. But we should get to see Jesper Wallstedt play very soon. As I said, Matt Zuccarello returned. Marcus Foligno will return for today's game. And apparently, Jonas Brodin, Kirill Kaprizov, and Gustafsson are all skating. So they're all going to be returning in the not too far distant future for the Wild. So the Wild are starting to get healthier. Give me Rossi point here, and I'll stay off the side. Over 6. This should be a 6.5 to 7 range. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Stars minus 1.5. Ooh. All right, all right. Stars overs until further notice, especially with Wedgwood. All right. I can see why. Stars and reg plus 112. First period over. And Eileen Wild. Yeah, like I said, it all depends on how many penalties the Wild take. If they take 3-4 penalties, then they're going to be in deep trouble in this game because the Stars power play really has success against the Wild for whatever reason. But go on to the final game of the night, which is between the Boston Bruins and Colorado Avalanche. So we've got some good games on today's slate. Really, we really do. So small slate, but some good matchups. Boston plus 105 to plus 113. Colorado minus 125 to minus 130. Sixes right across the board here in this game. Looking at starting goalies for this one, Georgiev is confirmed. Nobody confirmed for Boston. They will be playing a back-to-back tonight and then tomorrow in Arizona. Obviously, we'll get to tomorrow's show, but Arizona does not like to face the Boston Bruins. That's for sure. I believe 19-1 in the last 20 for Boston. So we'll see what happens there tomorrow. But looking at this game here, how these teams been doing recently, Boston 5-1 in their last 6 games. They've gone over 6.5 in 4 of their last 5. Colorado 6-1-1 in their last 8 games. They've gone over 8.5 in 4 of their last 6 games. Boston has won the last 3 meetings between the teams. We have seen 6 of the last 7 go under when these two teams face each other. But for me here, it's the over 6. Now, I am seeing a lot better odds now for this. I got it yesterday at minus 125. So now we're seeing it minus 109, minus 115 at some spots. Was minus 130 this morning when I made this. So I'm glad I didn't obviously take it at minus 130, but the over six here in this one. Yes, previous history goes towards the under, but these two teams right now, Boston scoring a ton of goals, giving up goals, Colorado giving up goals, they're scoring a ton. As I said, over 8.5 in 4 of their last 6 games, the Colorado Avalanche. Looking at player props here, no big surprise. David Pastrnak has a point in 6 of his last 7, at least 3 shots on goal in 12 of his last 14. McAvoy has a point in 6 of his last 7. Charlie Coyle has a point in 6 straight games for the Boston Bruins. Makar has at least 3 shots on goal in 7 of his last 8, points in 3 straight. Valery Nichushkin has a point in 11 of his last 13. Nathan McKinnon has an assist in 16 of his last 18 games. And Mikko Rantanen has a point in 4 straight. Give me the big guns for both teams, minus Marchand, but he'll probably get on the score sheet in this one because I'm not taking him now. But give me goals here on both sides. Bruins money line. All right. Lee Navs -1 after giving up 8 goals, but pass. Yeah, we all know I'm a sides better, but today it's tough. It's tough to pick the sides here. So give me goals. Give me goals. Captain Bry is on Coyle as well, +110. So yeah, you could really bet that single. And then Jake DeBrusk as well, +110. I didn't actually look at his stats because I had enough players here, but I think he's pretty hot as well recently. So best of luck, Captain Bry. But that's today's show. Best of luck to everyone today. If you want to know the stats and you don't want to have to rewatch the show again, the link in the description below in my spreadsheet in the Google Doc, I have all the stats I give out on today's show, and I have stats already ready for tomorrow. So if you want to get an early start on tomorrow's games, the link is in the description below. Best of luck to everyone today, and we will see you guys on tomorrow's show. Canucks +1.5, Stars money line, Bruins money line +451. Who ruins it? Wow, we all know. I hope it's the Stars, but we'll see. Gophers -1.5 in NCAA hockey. Best of luck. Thumbs up. Everyone hit the like button. Thank you, whenever, for watching. See you on tomorrow's show. Best of luck, everyone.